Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. So we're going to be talking, obviously, about the Ethereum merge, but we also need to be talking about what is going on in the crypto market. And do you know what? I kind of have some bad news, which in my mind, I think is actually quite good news because realistically, there is nothing going on in the crypto market, and for me, that's a good thing. But that's only on the basis that right now, what we're seeing is we are seeing that the price of Ethereum hasn't pumped, it hasn't dumped, it hasn't really done anything. And I think as a result of the merge, which obviously was so highly anticipated, is actually a relatively good thing. And we'll get in and actually show you why that's the case in a second. But I mean, until then, do you have anything, AJ? Well, AJ, I'll just ask how you are first.
Yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. Talking about the Ethereum merge, that looks like it's going to plan. I know the price isn't or hasn't had much of a bullish reaction to it, but yeah, it does look like it's gone through smoothly, which is always good news.
Yes, exactly. So we've had Vitalik come out and he said, look, successful merge, everything is running smoothly, which is actually very good. So that's one thing that we are very, very happy about. What I will now bring you on to is, obviously we're talking about what people are worried about, what they're thinking about, but we can't talk about that without speaking about all of these liquidations. So Ethereum merge happens. Everyone went long.
Yeah.
Everyone thought, oh, blimey, we're going to see a mad pump. Unfortunately, we didn't. And because Ethereum has come down, we've seen a lot of liquidation data coming in from the exchanges. This is on CoinGlass. You can track this yourself, guys. Just make sure that you have a look. So we can see, obviously, a lot of people were very, very excited about the merge, stuck on a mad long, being like, hey, guess what? Ethereum merge is happening. ETH is going to pump. But it didn't. Unfortunately, it didn't. So usually, obviously, because Bitcoin is just a larger asset class, larger asset within the class, we see this has the most liquidations because there's most people trading it. But obviously, that's not correct today because today is the merge day. It did go through successfully, as you mentioned, AJ, and there's been a lot of liquidations where people thought that they were going to be, going long, but you can
Yeah.
see these liquidations, 65% of them were long in total. And then you can break this down: FTX, OKX, Binance, etc. But look, I mean, the data doesn't lie. 50% on FTX, OKX 67, 82, 78, 96 on CoinEx. And then you get to 100.
And
So to be
this is
honest,
exactly what my theory was coming into this Ethereum merge. I've told you before that I did anticipate the price to pump before going into that merge. And if I just bring up my chart really
yes,
quickly, you can see that we did see the Ethereum price push up towards the $1,650 level approximately coming into that merge. But then when the merge happened, we have seen the price actually pull back. When it happened, I was watching the charts and the price did push up a little bit. Nothing too exciting though. And then we've just seen the price pull back a little bit as well. So, not exactly what I anticipated. I thought there would be a little bit more volatility, but initially what I said has actually played out. And looking at the charts, which we will go into a little bit later, I do think we could potentially see a bigger pullback in the longer term. Maybe in the shorter term, we'd have a push towards the upside, but in the longer term, I think we could have another leg towards that downside.
yeah, you're absolutely right. And we are seeing a lot of these liquidations, which to be honest, can kind of be it's buy the rumor, sell the news, isn't it? And I
Exactly.
will say, obviously one of the main kind of pumpy aspects of the whole merge, one of the things that everyone was excited about, they say, hey, this is going to pump the merge, is because of the institutional investment, which is kind of almost scheduled. A lot of people are anticipating that institutional in what investment? Interest. A lot
Yeah.
of institutional interest has been pretty much kind of waiting on the side, see if this works. And then I even did a video about a report stating that we might see institutional investors swapping out bonds for the Ethereum, just staking, becoming a validator, etc., etc. And to be honest, the amount of hedge funds, the amount of institutional investors using Ethereum has gone up massively in the past year. So that trend is expected to continue. So there was a lot of kind of curiosity and, should we say, almost kind of waiting by the sidelines in order for this to happen.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
right.
just to add on
Look,
something, here as well. If we bring up, um, let's bring up Bybit here. Where is it? Right. So bringing up Bybit here, we do actually have an Ethereum proof of work token now as well, as you can see right here.
yes, yes.
I'll
Because
go
that
through
is
a bit.
where, like, a lot of the previous stakers or previous like miners are now looking to create their own proof of work tokens.
Yeah.
Um, Remember a couple of weeks ago back where we spoke about how there are going to be people creating these proof of work tokens, and there were even futures on those tokens, but they dropped by something crazy. It was like 80% or something like this.
Yeah.
Because you could buy a future for a token that hadn't even been created yet, which was absolutely mental. Um, I think it's good that there are also, there is that fork. It shows a bit of like, I guess investment from the people who are actually mining or were previously mining Ethereum. But to be honest, I think everyone, especially, USDC, they said they're only going to be working with the proof of stake chain in Ethereum. But looking at overall what the traditional markets, like I said, this is where big investment will come from. They basically have just said like, stuff's happening, hasn't really like nothing's going on, and they kind of finish it off just down here. Large Ethereum developers are all over the world, been working on the merge for years, and they haven't really said, hey, this is fantastic, let's all buy it. But they also haven't said, let's stay away from this. So I think it's still just this is just a very neutral, article. And there isn't anything major in the mainstream media to say, hey, this is actually fantastic, which there isn't. But one thing I do want to show you is I'll just refresh this ultrasound.money. I recommend you have a look on here if you're interested in Ethereum, but we're looking at the supply since the merge. Now, I mentioned this before, guys. I've said, look, as soon as the merge happens, we're going to be in a deflationary environment. So we can see since the merge has happened, this is the supply chain. So we're in that deflationary environment. There's less 124 Ethereum. And that's what within what? How long has it been? 8 hours or so, AJ?
Yeah. Around that.
Yeah. So let me simulate the merge. So on the merge, if we look at all time, basically we're going to be looking at a burn rate of around about 1.5%. This will change, obviously, it will change. But one thing that I wanted to show you, and I posted this over on Twitter. I actually can't bring that up now. Twitter. Let me do this, and I will bring us onto our profile, and you can have a look because it was actually so GWEI. This is basically it's like the denomination for transaction costs, basically in terms of like you have a dollar, then you have like 1 cent, 2 cent, 10 cent, whatever. A GWEI is basically the reference for how much it costs for a transaction fee. This is where you saw the POS move into place. And you can see the transaction fees are actually coming down, which is relatively good. But just looking around here, you guys can have a little look. But we are in a deflationary environment, which is very, very good for Ethereum. But one thing, just as you mentioned earlier, AJ, Ethereum community wastes no time in minting POS NFTs right after the merge. To be fair, that's actually not a bad idea. Hosting or creating the first NFT on the proof of stake blockchain probably could be worth something. I mean, do you remember? Do you remember AJ back in must have been 6 months ago? There was a picture of a rock that went for $1 million, like an actual rock.
I think. Yeah. I think I heard the story.
Yeah, or there's like it's like a yeah, maybe not a picture of an actual rock, but like it was a drawing of a rock, and
Yeah.
it went for $1 million. And obviously nowadays, now given what's happened to NFTs, it's yeah, it's dead in the water.
Yeah.
But interesting nonetheless. So I think obviously this will do very well in the hype days, but will do very badly in the bearish days. And just looking at the traditional markets before we jump into what's actually happening with Bitcoin itself, etc. Um, we still see the 2 year and the 10 year, and also the 2 year and the 30 year hit that inverted level. Basically, what this means is on a US Treasury, the 2 year should be give you a lower yield, i.e., you get less money back per year than a 10 year. Because if you stake for a longer time, you get more money back. But that's not happened. So this is very, very bad. Big indication of a recession. Just probably one of the biggest indication of a recession. Anyway, and so we're kind of looking pretty bad in terms of the traditional markets, and obviously very, very good in terms of the dollar strength. So, AJ, do you want to bring us a slightly closer picture of the DXY, a little bit of that strength that's coming there, or do you want to jump onto something more like Bitcoin and how
Let,
we're not
let's have a look
necessarily
at that
confident
DXY
about
then. So looking at this DXY, this is the bigger time frame. Zooming out a little bit, you can see that we are in a very, very clear uptrend here. We can see we've got a high, or low, or a higher high, or lower high, another higher high, another lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high, lower high, higher high. And it's just
It's like you practice
continuing.
in Japanese here.
So we are, yeah, very, very clearly within this uptrend on this DXY, and it is continuing towards the upside. We have potentially formed this next higher low right here, and we could be pushing up to form a potential another higher high here on the DXY. Now, zooming in, taking a look at the 4 hour, we can see that we have this resistance level here that has been a very critical resistance level. I think it's more respectable on the 8 hour as well. But taking a look on the 4 hour, we can see that we have used it as resistance back here. We've used it as major resistance here. Then we got the break towards the upside. We used it as support before breaking back down, but now we are back above it. So we are going to use this as support. And you can see that we did actually find support on this here, and we did get a nice bounce off of this level again. This is bearish for the crypto market. This is bearish for the traditional market. We need to get below this resistance here to sort of see the traditional market push and the crypto market push. And I don't see that happening after getting this bounce here. So looking at the DXY now, it looks like we could continue to push towards the upside. I have been anticipating it for a while, but I do think this is going to happen, especially with the US not having inflation under control. That, of course, has pushed the price of the traditional market down, has also pushed the price of the crypto market down. The traditional market, the S&P 500, has come back down and tested this daily level of support here. As you can see, it's acted as major resistance back, major support, back here, major resistance here, and major support when we've been above it here and here. And we did actually test it yesterday as support again, and we did actually get a nice bounce off it yesterday, which is good. But I do expect this to get broken towards the downside. I do expect us to break this towards the downside if the DXY continues to push towards the upside. Now, if we get a break towards the downside, I've told you this multiple times, this is very, very similar to this 2008 crash. As you can see here, rejection from the 200 MA, break of that support, and we get that crash down. That's exactly what we started to see here. The rejection from the 200 MA, the break of the support here, which is now resistance, and the only level that is holding us up right now is that $3,900 level. And if we do break this, then we could come down to the swing low from here. And if we break that, then I think a similar crash to what happened in 2008 is likely to happen. So we do just have to be aware of that. Sorry?
See you later.
Yeah, see you later. Exactly.
If
So
that happens, goodbye. There's
exactly.
nothing.
And with all the
I quit.
yeah. No, I'm going to be dollar cost averaging. I'll tell you that. Heavily dollar cost averaging. But yeah, with everything that's going on globally, especially with China, what's going on with the recession in the US, with the inflation in the US, and what's going on with Russia, it's looking fundamentally wise, it's looking like we could break these levels and we could see a similar crash. But now we've just got to sort of see if we can hold or if we break these levels before we take any major action. But yeah, if we can stay above this level, then obviously that's great news. But if we do break it, then I do think we're going to come to this swing low and then potentially see another major crash. But moving on to sort of what we're here to look at today, and that's sort of Crypto and Ethereum. Taking a look at Ethereum on the 8 hour, we can see we've been getting rejected from this resistance up here, which has led to this pullback. Coming into the merge, we've had a little push towards the upside, but after the merge, as you can see today, we are getting that push towards the downside. That is what is happening right now. Now, what do I think is going to happen next for Ethereum? Well, let's zoom in to sort of the lower timeframes. We can actually see that we are in a slight uptrend. So you can see we've got a low here. You can see we've got a high here. We've got a low here, a higher low. Sorry, a higher high, and then a higher low here. If we do break this low here, which is sat around $1,500, then I think we could see much, much lower for Ethereum. But if we can hold and create this higher low here and push towards the upside to this resistance, I think there could be a possibility that if we break this resistance, we could make another higher high, which is obviously good. We can continue that uptrend. But of course, if we push towards the upside, we can also get rejected at the lower area of this resistance and form a lower high, which will then confirm a potential downtrend that is going to be coming. So we'll have to see what happens there, and I will keep you updated with that. But for Ethereum, there's nothing too
Can
exciting.
I
Yeah,
can I add in just no, just whenever you finished, can you throw up the
yeah.
volume, see if there's anything in there?
Yeah, definitely. So just to let them know quickly, we are stuck between a bullish and a bearish pattern. So we've got a bearish and a bullish pattern. So the bearish pattern is this wedge here that's broken towards the downside. Target is at 1,000, but then we've got this bullish pattern as well, which the target is up at 20,000. So obviously, because we're stuck between this bearish and this bullish pattern, price is going to be very uncertain. The price is going to be very uncertain on where it wants to go. So we are very uncertain right now, and that's why we've seen this sideways action right now. Bringing up the volume here for you, Ben, we can actually see that we have seen a decrease in volume since the start of this wedge, all the way back on the 13th of June. We can see a massive decrease in volume, slightly higher than this bit here, but initially we are decreasing in volume.
Okay, nice. Quick one for you, AJ. Just a little comment from Aikeshi, which, by the way, glad to see you here every single day,
Yeah.
Aikeshi. Absolutely love it. Angela, quick shout out to you. What's up? What's up? I don't know if that's like a. Have you ever seen Ali G? Is anyone? Well, I mean, have you
Yeah,
seen Ali G? You know,
I
East
love
Side is the best. No, West Side.
exactly.
Pretty fun. Anyway, I like it. Thank you, Chris. Just a quick shout out. But anyway, so AJ, Bitcoin is at the edge of breaking down or up in the 30-minute candle. Have a quick look at that. See if there is anything. And I'm just going to quickly say hello to Esteban. Hello, Mr. Esteban.
Hello there, Esteban.
Good
Yeah,
to see you here.
I can actually, yeah. Looking at that, I did post this on Twitter. I don't think I've updated you yet. Nothing too exciting has happened as of yet. Let me just bring my screen up here for you. What we can see here is that we do have this triangle formation on the 30-minute chart. So we can see some resistance. Let me just take the magnet off. We can see resistance up here is being respected very nicely, and support here has continued to be respected very well here. I am currently in a long position. I did put this over on Twitter as well. I am in a long position. So looking at that here, we are just sat at sort of break even. Nothing too exciting. Since I've opened this trade, we have just seen the price move sideways. Nothing too exciting yet. I did explain to you over on Twitter why I closed that short position, because I am expecting to see the price potentially pull back. If we have a look at this chart here, potentially pull back to this resistance level here, which is also this this golden pocket, because we are finding support at this golden pocket here as well, which is lining up with resistance here. I pulled this got this golden pocket from the bottom of this swing low here to this swing high here, which is giving us this support level. But going back to this 30-minute chart, yes, we are on the verge of breaking towards the downside. If we do break towards the downside, I would most likely close that long position that I do have open here and potentially open up a short position. It would only be a very small short position down to this potential low here, maybe even down to the $19,600 level, because we are finding a very, very strong resistance at this golden pocket here. So this golden pocket was taken from this swing high here to this swing low here, and it is going to act as resistance. And as you can very clearly see, it is playing perfect resistance. So we're finding it hard to get above this level. If we can get above this golden pocket here, then we can come and test the resistance at the top of the triangle. And if we can break the top of the triangle, then I think the price target will be, well, the price target will be at $20,500 approximately. And then I think if we can break above this swing high up here, then I think we can have this sort of Bart Simpson pattern, inverse Bart Simpson pattern that I was talking about over on Twitter. So we have this big move towards the downside, this consolidation period here. And then if we can break this high up here, this swing high here, then I do think that we can see that push back up to this resistance level here. As of yet, it's not certain that we are going to see that because we do need to break towards the upside of this triangle. And right now we are testing the support of the triangle. But yeah, you are right. We are testing the levels of this triangle. We are testing that support level of the triangle. As I said, if we get a break towards the downside, then we could see a price target of $19,760. So not a big trade, but it is a trade that I would be looking to take if we broke towards the downside. So I would close this long position and then I would open up a short position. But I am looking for that price to form this Bart Simpson pattern. So I'm looking for the price to break above this very strong resistance at the golden pocket, come up to the resistance at the top of the triangle and break that. That's what I'm looking for. But there is also that possibility we can break towards the downside because we are, we have had this big move towards the downside, and triangle patterns, symmetrical triangle pattern, they can tend to be a continuation pattern. So we could see the break towards the downside and then that move and maybe even a follow through to that as well, which could take us down to those lower targets at the previous low at $17,500. So we have to counter that in as well, factor that in as well. So I am being very skeptical with this long position. If we do break towards the downside, then I am going to exit that long position because there is potential for a lot more downside.
Yeah, no, you're right. And to be honest, I think, like I've said personally, I'm not entirely, I'm not a believer, not, in this extremely bullish environment, of
Yeah,
everyone saying, hey, let's be bullish. I just personally, I just don't know if I can fully get behind the idea that we haven't seen 20K and sub 20K again. Like I know we're here, we're at 20K, we're bouncing on it, it's all good. But like, I mean, sub, I'm talking about 19, 18K, I just don't
yeah,
know if we're there yet. I think we probably will get there personally. I think we will, just because the whole world's an absolute mess. And I think,
yeah,
especially if we have that 75 basis point hike, that will be a bit of a catalyst, in my opinion. But I'm talking much longer term. One thing I want you guys to understand is obviously when AJ is analyzing the charts, he's looking at these on maybe like a daily basis or something. And so when I'm talking about things, I'm talking about them on a slightly, arguably a slightly longer time frame. Just because I'm looking at slightly larger trends. And I think that's why we work so well, because when
yeah,
people are looking to actually directly trade, you're giving them the intel on what's happening on the day, on the next, couple hours, maybe next 2 days.
yeah,
But I try and, I look primarily at some of the longer term effects. So personally, I'm
yeah.
thinking that we might be coming down, but I could always be wrong.
Yeah, and do you know what? I never really used to factor in the fundamental side of things before. I always used to just trade off technicals, but fundamentals are a very, very important thing. And I've learned that over the years that I have been trading and looking at the fundamental side of things, looking at what's going on in the world. It does it does look to me that we could go lower. Now, looking at the technicals, it looks like we could form a double bottom pattern on these bigger time frames, and we are at major
True.
support. But and for me, that's a good entry for a long position if we can bounce off these levels. But fundamentally wise, we're not looking good. So that's obviously pushing the price down. And I'm just looking at this here as well on the daily chart, and it looks like we could be forming some sort of well, it looks like we've already formed this descending triangle. So we've got the resistance up here, the descending trend line here. We've got the resistance up there, and obviously we've got the support down here at the bottom of this descending triangle. Now this is a bearish pattern as well, so we could factor this into our analysis as well. So if we do come back down and test this level here at the very bottom of this major support level here, which is at 18,900, and then the bottom of this descending triangle is at 18,700 approximately. If we break that, then I think we could see much lower targets as well. The price target for that is that's not what I'm looking for. Let's get rid of this extended right tool here.
Guys, this
Price
is not going
target
to
for
make you
that.
feel happy, by the way.
Huh?
This is not going to make you feel happy. Just I was
No.
giving everyone a heads up. Like, you
No,
will
well,
not
this
like
could
this.
give us a target for
He's going to say a
14,000.
scary number.
Not quite 12,000, but this could take us to 14,000. But this to me looks like a very, very clear descending triangle pattern. So yeah, I'm gonna keep you updated with this as well. Obviously, that lines up with that major support as well. So if we break the major support, we are breaking that this descending triangle as well.
But one
But what
thing, like,
I'm doing, sorry,
sorry, just back onto that. Like, I feel
yeah,
like, we probably will have a lot of bounces in between. We probably
yeah,
will. We might drop down to that 19 and then bosh back up to 21 because that's still within the range and that's perfectly okay. This
yeah,
will still happen, and you will still, obviously, you guys listen to a lot of people on YouTube, on whatever, in order to find out what you should be doing with your investments, which is a good idea. So you will have people being like, oh, Bitcoin's going to jump by 20%. And, they might be correct, but, if you look at a slightly longer term, should you be in a trade that might jump 15% if afterwards it's going to drop by 50, this
yeah.
is where you kind of have to consider all of the different outcomes that could potentially happen.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
definitely,
wanted
and
to
that's
throw that out
why this trading portfolio that I have is only, I think, maybe even 7% of my whole portfolio. I've only got a very small amount of capital in this. What's it? 0.04. I know 0.05 roughly is in this trading account of mine. So I'm very careful with what I do,
there. Yes.
and I only trade with a very small part of my portfolio. So if I do if the worst case scenario, if I do lose this, then it's not a big deal for me. So yeah, just make sure that you are aware of that when you are trading. Use a very small percentage of your portfolio, but also use your stop loss, use
Limit
protection
your
as
risk.
well.
Yeah, that's it. Just limit the risk. I
Yeah.
will answer a question from Esteban, a question for Ben. What is your opinion on the reaction the market got from the Ethereum merge, and what are your expectations for the impact in price in the next few days? So, Esteban, my friend, let me tell you about this. So, to be honest, mate, I actually think that this is that what's happened with Ethereum, and you can see this, Bosch along the top here, thundering along. I actually feel really good about the fact that there's been no reaction because there's kind of
Yeah.
two different ways in which the Ethereum merge could have gone. So it could have either gone, everybody sell off, which is not good for institutional investors. Obviously, if you want to buy an asset and the most important thing to happen to that asset has just made the price plummet, it's very bad news. Imagine you want to be buying Coca-Cola stock and you've just found out that the two people who know the Coca-Cola secret are dead. Obviously, the price is going to drop. Are you going to be buying Coca-Cola again? Probably not. As a stock, it's doomed. No one's going to be buying Coke, so you don't want to do it. Um, but also, on the other hand, if you see that loads of people are buying, let's say, I'm going to use Coca-Cola. Let's say, I don't know, they successfully updated their Coca-Cola formula. They took all the cocaine out from what happened previously. It's a little secret. Like they genuinely used to have cocaine in Coca-Cola. Partly what made it so addictive in the early years. But I don't advocate any drug use. But let's say that they update their formula and everything's fantastic. But then you get to a scenario where everyone starts buying Coca-Cola. Everyone's like, oh, fantastic. This Coca-Cola is so much better. lets everybody buy the stock because I know everyone's going to be buying the Coca-Cola on the shelves. Well, then you get to a point where, well, am I late to the party? Is it too late? Are people going to start taking profits? Is this little pump that we've seen just a short squeeze? Is it everybody, pumping the price up so that they can take profits? This is what we had last week in Bitcoin. And obviously, we went very highly up, but we came straight down in a single day. So I think one thing for me that's actually stood out about this whole Ethereum merge is that we're still okay.
Yeah.
There's like nothing has happened. It's been uneventfully eventful. I
I
don't know
think
if
that's
that's a
the
good way
best
to
way
put
you
it.
can.
Do you know what I mean,
That's
though?
that's the best way you can put it. I think. I think that
It,
is the
it
best.
is, yeah.
It looks like
It's
nothing has happened.
uneventfully,
It looks like the
yeah,
merge hasn't even happened. I think that's the best way
exactly.
it could have gone.
Which means, because it doesn't look like the merge has happened at all, it means that it's been successful. It's flown under the radar, and people are not like, "Oh, this is amazing, so I'm going to sell and take my profits." But they're also not like, "Oh, this is rubbish. I'm going to panic and sell my shares." So, well, say shares, coins. But one thing that we should notice is that there has been a slow intick of institutional money. As you see here, look, Ethereum noticed inflows totaling $16 million and is having fun with a close to 7 consecutive week of inflows totaling $160 million, just under. We imagine this turnaround in investor sentiment is because of the higher readability on the timing of the merge, the place Ethereum shifts from proof of work to proof of stake. Now, obviously, that's happened now, and we are having a slow increase of money moving into the Ethereum ecosystem. There's no doubt about that. You can see it here, 160 mil. Often on a Monday, we go through and we say, "Hey, look, this is how much went into Ethereum. This is how much went into Bitcoin," because we have those investor data and we give them to you. But one thing you should notice now is this going to increase or is this going to decrease? The amount of institutional money, i.e., people who are like, should I invest in Ether? Should I not? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it going to increase or decrease now that there's no environmental issues, now that the Ethereum merge has happened? I mean, AJ, in my opinion, this is only going to increase, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So if money is only going to flow into Ethereum and not flow out, and as you've just seen, we're in a deflationary environment, my price prediction is only in one way. I genuinely think maybe short term we might have a couple of days, maybe a week or two where things are a little bit stagnant, but I genuinely believe that we will have Ethereum pump quite heavily, and this is then going to start that whole conversation. Hey AJ, do you think that Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin? Well, I don't know. Oh well, hey mate, do you think that Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin? And once those conversations start, well, wait, but if it does, surely I should buy some. Well, you should, just in case, yeah. Oh, well, I will, just in case. And then there's all that speculation, and this grows. And once it grows onto Wall Street, and you say, okay, well, actually, so I can buy an asset which is going to flip the biggest cryptocurrency, and I can get a 10 to 15% return every single year just for buying it, i.e., when you stake it. Why are you not buying it? So I think this is genuinely going to be part of the whole cycle. So Esteban, just to answer your question in a very simple manner, I think that the price of Ethereum is going to go to the upside, and I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty happy. I will be adding a bit more Ethereum to my portfolio in the probably in the coming days. Obviously, I was kind of buying some, but I'm very aware, buy the rumor, sell the news, because obviously, you don't want to be buying Amazon stock when your hairdresser is telling you about it. That's like a very common thing they talk about it. Once your grandma or your mum is asking about, oh, what about this Bitcoin thing then? It's a bad time. It's overvalued. So then you need to sell. But personally, I'm pretty feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, yeah, and just to make everyone aware, we have actually broken towards the downside of this triangle here. No volume, not an increase in volume. Yeah, I'd like to see an increase in volume. If we don't get an increase in volume, then I want to get a confirmed rejection from this level here. Use it as resistance to get a confirmed rejection down before entering any short positions here. Because as I said, we've got absolutely no volume. We're coming up and testing this golden pocket again. But because we're broken down, I think we could come come and test this low here again. But as I said, there's no volume, so I'll be looking for an entry point to get in at the potential rejection of this resistance level here, this new resistance level. I have, as of right now, closed that long position, but I will potentially, if we do get a fake out here, because there is no volume, there is that possibility we could get that fake out. If we do close back into this triangle here and we do come back up to test the resistance at the top of the triangle and we get a confirmed break with volume or a retest, then I would re-enter that long position. Obviously at a higher price, but I'm just looking at this now here, and we have broken towards the downside, and I've taken a very small loss on that, not even 1% loss on that, so I'm not too bothered about that. But yeah, what I'll be looking for now is potential retest of this resistance. As you can see, we're breaking above it right now, coming to the golden pocket. But if we get a confirmed rejection, then I would enter a potential short position there, because as I said, there's no volume, and yeah, we could, with when we do get a breakout with no volume, then there is that likelihood that we can get that fake out, and we could see that here if we don't see any volume at all. Well, we haven't seen any volume yet. But yeah, looking for that retest and that rejection. That's what I'll be looking for to enter that short position.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You are
Yeah.
right. So maybe what we want is we want like another candle close in the red, just completely closing below that white line. Is that correct?
Well, I would like to, yeah, with a spike in volume. As you can see here, the
Oh, yeah,
volume has been,
ideally.
since we've been in this, since this low here, we've been in this descending, this volume descending. The volume has just been decreasing, as you can see right here. And for a breakout, what we like to see is we would like to see at least a spike in volume from this here, at least a nice spike in volume. For that confirmed break towards the downside. If we don't get that, then a retest and then a rejection is what we would be looking for. But yeah, as you can see, we've seen a decrease in volume, but we want to see an increase in volume when we get that break towards the downside. So that's what I will be looking out for. And I can see that we've got 40 people watching this live. If you can smash that like button, it will really, really help us out. And yeah, someone said no sound. Have we got no sound?
No, 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 no. I'm just speaking to Esteban.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. We do really appreciate it. I can see around 40 people in this. What's that?
So basically, I saw when I was talking about Coca-Cola, I said they used to use cocaine. But Esteban has pointed out they used to use coca leaf, but not the cocaine compound, because you have to do a
Oh,
lot to the cocoa leaf in order to make the cocaine. So I was wrong there about Coca-Cola using cocaine. They used to use coca leaf. And Esteban is from Colombia, so obviously he knows very, very well. Lots of snow, but never any winter, which is a peculiar natural phenomena. I don't know how that would ever happen, but you know. Anyway, so yeah, basically, bottom line, guys, is in terms of Ethereum, what we're thinking is, maybe another day or so of not too much volume, but overall, I do think, for me anyway, I'm thinking Ethereum in the long run will be a very, very good place to park my money. Not yours, not financial advice, but for me anyway, I'm looking at that as quite a nice place in the hope that institutional investors will jump into that. It's just, do you want a big crypto? Yes, you do. Do you want risk? No, you don't. So you go for the top one, two, three that are pretty much, you can't knock them down. Do you want to go Bitcoin? No. Everyone's going to talk about, environmental issues. So you go for proof of stake. What's the next highest proof of stake? That is Ethereum. So I think a lot of people will be jumping into that in the long term. But overall, right now, and AJ, I'm sure you probably agree with me, the main priority for us is what's going to happen to Bitcoin. If
yeah,
we see a 14K Bitcoin, obviously, well, I say obviously, I think the rest of crypto will drop hard,
definitely,
like
yeah.
very
And
hard.
I've said this multiple times before. I've been the majority of my portfolio has been in Bitcoin. The majority of my portfolio has been in Bitcoin since sort of when we started to drop I can't even remember when I started getting out of my altcoins, but I've been out of those altcoins for a long time. And of course, I'm looking to get back into altcoins. That's what I want to do. That's where in the last bull market, I made the majority of my returns was from altcoins. But right now, the safest thing to be in for me is Bitcoin. And especially looking at this chart here, looking at the dominance, we are holding and we are seeming to be bouncing off this major support level on the dominance. So if we do get that confirmed bounce, if we do continue to push towards the upside, then we could come up to the resistance. And I would anticipate that to happen if we do break towards the downside of these major support levels on Bitcoin. So if we break
Yeah.
19,000 and we see the price come down to 14 or 12,000, $10,000, then I would expect to see the Bitcoin dominance increase. That's why I would want to stay in Bitcoin. But as soon as we see the dominance up here and get a confirmed rejection like we did back here, then I'll start looking at getting into altcoins again. And hopefully, on that next bull run, we could see this support broken on the Bitcoin
Oh yeah.
dominance, and then we can get that mega, 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 mega altcoin season. I do think we could get that mega altcoin season if we do break this major, major support here. So that's
Oh,
what I will
I
be
want
really.
nothing.
Sorry.
I said I want nothing more.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because the altcoins, that's where we can make the most returns. That's where we can get in cheap and sell at very, very high prices. So that's sort of going to be my next strategy for the next bull market, and that was my strategy for the last bull market as well, and it played out well. So I'm going to implement that to this next bull run as well. So when we get up to this resistance, then get that confirmed rejection, then I'll start moving that put my portfolio into those altcoins, come down to here, maybe take some profit on those altcoins back into Bitcoin, waiting for that confirmed drop of the support level. And then once we get that confirmed drop of the support level, then I will sort of get in very, very heavily into those altcoins.
Yeah, my theory is always just buy as high as you can and sell as low as you can. Buy high, sell low, and then you become a millionaire, baby.
Yeah.
AJ, you
Um,
have to at least pick me up on that. That's the worst advice I've ever. I'm the one saying
sorry,
it. It's the
I
worst
wasn't
advice
I
I've
wasn't
ever had.
listening. I was trying to read a comment.
I was like, what the heck? And one thing I will ask you about, can you bring up Rose? I know you've done some TA on that previously, and then maybe
Yeah,
Altura. There might be some old stuff from what we have done before.
I did have
But
some
I know
old.
someone asked about that. Cyprian asked about that earlier. So Cyprian, sorry we didn't get back to you earlier, but here we are, and I hope you're still here. You better be. Otherwise, if not, well, actually, no, I'm not going to threaten you. That's just me. But we will analyze the cryptos for you. Rose, partly because I'm actually very, very interested in Rose. I actually really like it. I think in terms of the next like layer one pumps, this in terms of a layer one pump, I genuinely believe that Rose is going to be in for a significant pump if we see another layer one storm, just like we did with Solana last year. I think Rose this year could be like a Solana. And I remember like when was it? Solana was hovering around about like $25, $30. And I was like, nah. I thought, I'm too late. My friends told me about it when it was $6. I said, no, I'm too late. There's no point doing it. It's at $30 already. And I was like, no, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I think $250 later, I'm still sitting here like a mug with my money in my hand, not knowing exactly what's going on. um, but yeah, so buy
I was
high,
trying to
then
find. I've got the Rose up. I was trying to find that Altura as well.
there's Carver Kid.
Um,
Financial advice taken. Yeah, go to your banker. Look, this is what this guy said. Let me show you him. But yeah, so
bringing
no.
up,
Anyway,
bringing up Rose. Then taking a look at Rose. So I remember last time I
yep,
talked about this, we were testing this red level here, this red sort of support and resistance level. As you can see, we've used it as support here. We've used it as resistance after we broke down, but it wasn't,
yep.
very strong resistance. We did break up. That's when we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum push towards the upside, but we have initially broken down again, and we are actually testing it as resistance right now. Previously as well, this has been major resistance all the way back here, major support as well. So this
Mhm.
0.06 level is a very, very critical level. If we do get that confirmed rejection from this level, I do think we are going to come down to test the bottom of this parallel channel. So we do actually have a parallel channel forming a descending parallel channel. So we've got the support, the resistance, sorry, up here, and we have the support down here as well. So I think another test of this is a potential, if we do get that confirmed rejection from this 0.06 level, I think we will come down and test the bottom of this parallel channel. Now, this is a descending parallel channel. Normally, they are quite bullish. But again, if we do see Bitcoin break that major support level, then we could see the break towards the downside of this parallel channel, which could bring us down to this sort of major support level down here at the 0.046 level. As you can see, it's been major support here with a slight deviation here at the bottom back on the 19th of June. But we are sort of in this, we were sort of, sorry, in this sideways parallel channel right here
Range in it.
range, yeah, and you can see resistance at the top. We have the slight deviation here, not a confirmed break towards the upside. Then we came back down, we tested it at support, and then we got the confirmed break towards the upside, and that mega move towards the upside. So we could come back into this range that we have here. We did actually come and test it here as support when we broke towards the downside of this parallel. This red level here, this 0.06. We did break towards the downside, and we came and tested it. We found support, got a nice bounce, came and tested the resistance of the red level, and then broke above it. So if we can get a confirmed rejection, then I think we'll come down to the 0.056. If we break that, then we'll come to the bottom of the parallel channel. And then if we break that, then the 0.04, which, as you can see back here, has been major support right here. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at. Just waiting to see if we get that confirmed rejection from this level here. But
And
yeah,
I
if we
will
get the
say, I
confirmed
think,
rejection, then down.
yeah, and just like you said there, AJ, I think that we'll be waiting, that potential 0.46 or 0.046 is probably only going to happen if we see around that kind of 15, 14K Bitcoin.
Yeah,
If we jump back off maybe like a 19K, we will see a negative move in this. There's almost no doubt. 0.055 perhaps. But obviously, if we
yeah,
see that drop for Bitcoin, right the way down to that 14, 15K level, then that's when you can expect to kind of be hitting off those lower levels of support around the 0.046. But yeah, I really, I really like Rose. One thing that someone has mentioned, Cyprian, Rose have a partnership with Meta. They absolutely do. They
yeah.
also, the owner or like the founder, she has worked with the Pentagon on two different projects. Plus, they are the second highest VC funded, I want to say project in the whole crypto space. So there's only one other coin that has higher VC funding. So they're backed by all of the major VCs. So realistically, they're in a very good position. I personally, I really like them in terms of like a low cap type coin. I'm a big fan. But we have questions here. Why is Luna tanking? Pat, we don't need to look at the we don't need to look at the graph. Do Kwon got arrested, so sweet. He South Korea put out an arrest warrant for Do Kwon. So goodbye, no Kwon. There is no Kwon.
And plus that was just a full that was, Luna was just full of traders trying to make a quick buck, which
Yeah,
probably a lot of them did, but probably a lot of them lost a lot of money as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be
but
surprised if a lot of people lost a lot of money there. But what I
no,
would
you're right.
expect, sorry,
No, I was just going to say you're absolutely right. But
yeah,
one other thing is, because it is only traders. As soon as
yeah,
there was money to be made, because they launched their own staking, they launched their own staking platform, I believe, on Lunar Classic. So obviously everyone was like, "I need to buy it." So everyone
yeah,
flooded in, and then, as you mentioned, AJ, they're just traders. They're not long-term holders. They don't believe in it. So the price went up. They all sold. Do Kwon got arrested, or an arrest warrant came out for him. He will get arrested within the next couple of days. So obviously now everyone's selling. So I think
gosh,
those are some of the reasons, just mixing us two back, together.
yeah. Looking at dot, when I'm looking at dot, we've got this range that is forming here. So since sort of the 19th of August, we've been in this sort of range, looking at this fixed range right here. Now, what I'll be looking at for dot is we are, if we zoom in even further, we can see we're even in an even smaller range from the POC, which is this red line here, which is the point of control, and the value area low, which is this low blue level right here, which is obviously the value area low. So we can see that we are within this range as well. Now, what I would be looking for dot is a potential break of this value area low. If we do get a potential break of this value area low, we get rejection, retest, and then rejection from that, then I do think we could see the price of dot come down to this major support level here. Now, this is major support. Maybe this is a little bit outdated. Let's have a look here. So I would say the next level is, let's bring up the trend line here. The next level that we would look at if we broke towards the downside of this value area low, we got the retest and then the confirmed rejection, then I would look at the price coming down and testing this $6.54 level. As you can see, it has been a major level previously, major support here, major support here, and resistance even when we were below it as well. We didn't spend much time below it. We sort of formed some sort of head and shoulders pattern here, broke towards the upside. But yeah, we did get some slight resistance in it there as well. So this is a very strong support and resistance level. So if we were to break towards the downside, I would anticipate that we are going to come back up and test that value area low. Now, if we don't get a confirmed rejection from the value area low and we break above it, then I do think that we could see the price potentially come up and test the value area high again at the $7.64 level. As you can see here, we've broken below it. We haven't got the confirmed rejection. We broke back above the value area low, and then we came and tested the value area high again. So that's what I would be looking at. Obviously, we want to look at some other confluence as well. Let's see if the fib, just get the moment tool. Let's see if the fib is coming in with any. Yeah, so the fib is actually coming in with some perfect resistance at the point of control at the POC, as you can see right here. So we are finding it very tough to get above here. So it looks like to me, if we do break towards the downside of the value area low, we get a retest and then we get that confirmed rejection, I would anticipate the price coming down to the $6.55 level approximately. But yeah, if we do get above the POC and this golden pocket on the Fibonacci retracement, then I think there is a high chance that we could come back up and test this value area high. Now, to be fair, I think this is something that I'll probably trade. So thank you very much for bringing that up. I'll keep you updated with this as well. This will be a really nice short-term trade on dot. So yeah, two scenarios here. If we break above the POC and the golden pockets, then we are going to be looking at the price coming up to the value area high at 7.65. But if we get a break below the value area low, which is currently sat at $7, then we get a confirmed retest and rejection, then I'll be looking for the price to come down to the $6.55 level. But if we don't get that confirmed rejection from this value area low and we just come down and we break back above it, then I'll be looking for a long like we saw back here, and I would expect the price to come back up to the $7.65 level. But first, we would have to break above the POC and we'd have to break above this golden pockets, which, as you can see, is confluence together. So this is going to be very strong resistance. So if I was going to go long at the value area low at $7, I would take profit here, move my stop loss to break even, and then I would just wait and see if the price was to break towards the upside. And then if it did break towards the upside, I would expect the price to come up to the $7.65 level. So that's something I would look for dots in the shorter time frame. Longer time frame for these altcoins. If Bitcoin goes down, altcoins are going to get hit a lot harder. So sort of longer time frame, I'm not really looking at even getting into altcoins. I'm just looking at trading those shorter time frames. But yeah, I hope this has given you some insight on the shorter time frame. We can have a quick look at the bigger time frame. Was it No, yeah, here. Okay, so where is it? I feel like all my trend lines have been messed up a little bit here. So I was looking at something like this. We got that break towards the upside here, and no. Okay, yeah. So what I'll be looking at then, if we did break that that 6.55 level. So as you can see on a shorter time frame on this 4 hour, it has acted as major support and resistance back here. So if we did get a break of that on the shorter time frame, then we would be looking at this major support level here between that 5.88 and that $6.3 level, which as you can see, zooming out onto the bigger time frames, all the way back here, we've used it on the 16th of July. We've used it as major support there. All the way back here in 2020, in November 2020, we used it as resistance. Also back in August of 2020 as well, we used it as resistance. And I think we actually used it as support after yeah, we did. So we used it as slight support after breaking towards the upside of this previous resistance level as well. So that would be the next level I would look for the price to come down to if we did break the $6.55 level. And why I think that is because it did happen before. So you can see when we did break that 6.55, $6.54 level, you can see that we did come down to that support level here. So if we did break the value area low, I would anticipate the price to come down to the 6.55 approximately. If we were to break that, then we would come down to sort of the between the 5.9 to be approximate to be exact, and the 5.3. So between that area, if we broke the 6.55 level. But yeah, just right now for DOT, I am looking at that shorter time frame, and this looks like a good opportunity to be trading this as well for me.
Good. Have a quick look at the DXY if you don't mind. Just want to
DXY.
see. So Esteban has just mentioned about the DXY breaking the pennant to the downside. Which, yes, you're absolutely correct. That's a good sign for the markets. If that is happening, typically a breakdown obviously is good for the markets. Maybe a slightly smaller time frame, or see what
Oh
we
yeah,
have.
what is he talking about? A bull pendant or a bear pendant or something?
He just said pennant,
Pennant.
as opposed to which particular one. But I guess yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
mean, yeah. If you were to draw,
I'll see
you
what
can
he's
draw that
talking
on. Yeah,
about. Yeah. So you could
yeah, and
take
then
this as
yeah,
a
from the
triangle as
bottom
well.
upwards.
There we go.
So
Yeah,
it
you could
is,
take that
yeah,
as a triangle.
he is breaking down, which is
Yeah.
good. So I mean, the question then becomes, why is it breaking down? What are people moving into? So perhaps we will see maybe a little bit of pump in the futures market because obviously the
Fifteen minute.
New York concrete jungle where dreams are. The New
Yeah,
York Stock
15,
Exchange was actually what I was going to say
30,
instead of singing
1 hour.
New York State of Mind. Um, but yes, the New York Stock Exchange is not open. So if you look on the 15 minute, my friend, this is what Esteban is saying. Um,
Yeah, it
yeah, have a look
applies
on
to the
them.
15, it applies to the 30, it applies to the one
Right.
hour. So yeah, he is
So
right there.
beautiful. Okay. So can you have a quick look, maybe the QQQ or the SP 500? Have a little look,
Yeah,
see if either the Nasdaq or the S&P 500 do they have an inverse reaction at the moment? We might have to wait a little bit because obviously there's still 34 minutes until we see the opening of the US trading day.
yeah. So this is the
Um,
futures. This is the US.
yeah, that'd be fine. Whatever
Futures.
they put
That's why this
on
is.
TradingView. That'll be the futures if there's any
Yeah,
movement, outside of market areas, which there are.
yeah.
So,
So
okay, not very much.
not any bullish
Is there a
reaction.
wick to the downside to suggest that it was there earlier?
Yes, there is a wick towards the downside. So
Okay.
if we go on the
What
short,
time frame
let's
are
have a
we
look at
on? I
the
can't
short
see
time frame.
if you don't mind.
This is 15-minute now.
Oh, okay. 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 Yeah, no, I see this. I
So
see this.
we are just ranging right now. If we get a
Yeah.
fixed from
But
here, we could see.
overall, a little bit of push to the upside,
Yeah,
especially in the most recent, we did fall down quite heavily, but now we jumped up in the past 15 minutes.
yeah,
So potentially, I mean, yeah, obviously, like you said, we're ranging. We have to break above this level in order for us to be a little bit confident that, in fact, we will see a bit of a pump in the future day to come. And
Yeah,
obviously, if this happens, then we will feel pretty good about Bitcoin. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, overall, guys, I've given my opinion. It's
If
not
we want
looking
to,
good, bro.
it's not. And if we want to break towards the upside of this value area high on this 15-minute range for the S&P 500, which will be bullish for crypto, we need to get a confirmed bounce. As you can see here, we've actually done it before. We've broken
Yes.
above all along here, but we haven't got that confirmed support off of that value area high, and that's what you need for a break towards the value break above that value area high. We need to find support and then the confirmed bounce to see the price continue up. Now, you can see here, this is an example, an inverse example. We broke towards the downside, we came and retested it, got that confirmed rejection, and then we see the price come down. So that's what we want to see if we break towards the upside. And when I'm talking about these value areas, we need to break towards the upside and get that confirmed retest and that confirmed bounce to confirm the price is going to move in that certain direction that it has broken towards the upside out of. So that's what I would be waiting for. Zooming back out. What time frame was I looking at? It was probably the daily. Yeah, the daily here. So, yeah, we are bouncing off of this support level again, which is obviously good for the crypto markets. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. DXY is still in a if looking at the macro trend, we are still in a very, very big uptrend on the DXY. And again, looking at this support level here, we have to break this support level here at 1,000. Sorry, not 1,000, 109. Too many numbers for me. Yeah, at 109, we need to break the support level at 109.3 to be exact here to see any real major movement within the traditional market and the crypto market as well. So yeah, just be aware of that as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
he is right.
Just going to finish up here, AJ.
Yeah,
Do you want to take a second, have a look at Altura,
I
have a
was.
little look see?
What's the ticker for that? Is it ALT?
Um,
Put it
I
in the screen.
believe
I believe
it's
it's ALT. I'm trying to find my chart because I've done some TA on this before, but I'm struggling to find my chart here. So that's why I haven't shown it yet.
I
But I did want to bring
think
it
it's
up.
ALU. Try ALU.
It's ALU.
ALU. Let me Google it. Let me get okay.
Thought it was
ALU. It's gonna
ALT.
bring up aluminium, isn't it? No,
ALU.
Altura. Yeah, Altura
Yeah.
is ALU. Just make
Okay.
sure that you don't go onto any like aluminium price.
Now, so of course I've gone on to crypto always.
Yeah. Totally got on the crypto. Nice one. Altura. Yes. Cyprian's really keen. I like this.
Yeah.
ALU, Altura. Yes, nice. I could tell you kind of like Altura. Cyprian, just drop a quick message in the live chat to everybody here. Why do you like Altura? Is there a particular reason? Like, I know most people have a specific one thing that hits them, and they're like, "All right, I really like this." Was there something that like you came across that you can share with everybody as to why you like it so much, or is it just that you love the price action, you've held it for a while, or what is it that kind of got you into Altura, and why do you like it? Quick question from Awalaja. What is the bottom of a Bitcoin?
The bottom of
It's
Bitcoin.
very tough.
That is the
It's very tough.
question. That is the
I
question,
mean,
isn't it?
look, I'm gonna say I personally I'll put it at say 14 handle, 12 wick personally. So
And
I think the candle will close around 14. I think the wick will drop down to 12. Um, it's extremely hard to know. But I would probably say this, unless there's manipulation from different players, I would probably say that manipulation might bring it down to 10k, 0% chance of it going lower. But I think 10k with the manipulation, because AJ, me and you have looked over the price, haven't we? Where it's literally a triangle like this, where 10k is the bottom. So, the amount of orders that are stacked by institutional investors, they go from probably around, I think it's like 18K, isn't it? And they just
Yeah,
get bigger and bigger as you go 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, whatever. And then you get to 10K and it's like a Christmas tree. It just cuts off. There's zero at 9K.
yeah.
There's no orders. No one's interested. So,
Oh,
but the most orders are at 10K. So that's what leads me to believe there might be some manipulation. But the amount of orders that happen, around about that 18 to bloody, 14, even 12, they are really, really high. That's a lot of demand.
I will answer that question myself as well after I look at Altura because I've got a very very simple chart that will just you'll
Mr.
see in a
Stevie
minute.
DD.
No, no, not that, not
I
that. Yeah, I wish it was
had
that,
to
but
bring it
no.
up. I had to.
Right, so looking at Altura, let's bring it up. Let's bring my screen up here. So looking at it here on the daily time frame, what we can see is we can see big, nice support and resistance trend line here. So resistance back here, and we are using it as support right here as well. But the price is still continuing to push down. What I pulled up here as well is a golden pocket on the daily chart as well from this swing low here. Let's actually move it to the exact point here. To that swing high there, and as you can see, we did actually we've been in that golden pocket for a while, testing it as resistance, but we have actually got that rejection from it now. Zooming into the smaller time frames, if we have a look here, we have this falling wedge pattern as well, which is at the very bottom. Now, because we're at the very bottom, of course, if Bitcoin goes down, then we are going to see the altcoins come down as well. We are most likely going to see Altura come down. So if Altura does come down, then we are going to break this support level here. That would give us an approximate price target. Let's just pull this up quickly. An approximate price target of around 0.0115 approximately, and that will sort of line up for with this previous swing low back here, which came down to 0.012. So that is something I would be looking at if we did break towards the downside of this descending triangle here. But of course, it is technically a bullish pattern, so we could find support. We could come back up to that 0.019 level here, which is the resistance at that daily golden pocket as well. So that's what I would be looking at if we did confirm the bounce off of this level, get some nice volume with that bounce as well down here, a nice spike in volume. Then I think we could come up to this level here, the 0.019. But if we were to break this, and right now, if we see the volume, we've had a slight
It's red.
we've had a slight decrease in volume. So initially we have been decreasing in volume within this. That's what you should expect within a wedge. You want to see that volume decrease, and then for the breakout, you want to see a spike in volume. Now we've seen nice big spikes of red volume, well, horrible big spikes of red volume. So yeah, it looks like the likelihood of it right now is that we could break towards the downside. If we break towards the downside, then I would expect this previous swing low here to be that next target at around 0.011 approximately. So that's what I would be looking for. So yeah, a break towards the downside, then we would most likely go to that swing low down here. But if we found support and we got a nice bounce, then we could come back up and test the resistance. So that's what I'll be looking at for Altura. Now, to answer that question of where the bottom is, here we go. Actually, just to bring you up this 30-minute chart on the Bitcoin chart, we have actually retested that bottom of the resistance, the previous support, now resistance. Now, if we get in this 30-minute candle, if we get that confirmed rejection, I would most likely enter that short position, and we could see the price come down to these lows here. So yeah, that's good if we have got that that test of this resistance here. Now we just got to wait for that rejection of the resistance, and then I think we will most likely see the price come down for Bitcoin. But of course, there's no volume yet, so we could see this being a fake out. We could come back up, test the golden pocket, maybe even come back up to the top of the resistance. So again, I'm waiting for that volume or the confirmed rejection from this resistance to enter any sort of short position. If we don't get any volume at
Mr.
all, then it could be a fake out. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Yes. What, mi amigo?
Not the short entry yet. Sorry,
Is that
sorry.
ahead?
I'm not entering in that
What?
short position.
No, I was yeah. So I was going to ask you, what would you need to see in order to activate that short position? Because obviously, it looks as though we've had a break below the line. We've come up as a green candle. We've tested it. We haven't broken back into that triangle. So it seems as though we've stopped at the edge of the triangle, and that looks like a retest, which confirms that we might be on the way down.
Yeah, well,
Potentially.
that's what
What
I
are you
just said.
looking for here in order to place your trade? What's
Yeah,
what's that
so
confirmation? What time frame?
the confirmation is going to potentially be in 22 minutes, this candle here. So we want that confirmed
Okay.
rejection from this resistance here. We've had the retest. As you can see, this green candle here has perfectly closed on that resistance. Now we're waiting for that rejection, which as of right now looks like we could get that rejection, but there is still 21 minutes left of this candle. So there is that possibility we can break above. If we break above, then it will be a fake out because there is no volume as well. So we could come back up to the golden pocket. But what I'll be looking at for this short entry is confirmed rejection from this resistance here. So this to be a red candle, then I would enter that short position, and I'll be looking at taking profit at around sort of that $19,770 level. Then I'll take maybe 50% out. Then I would put my stop loss at the break even, and then just let that trade ride out and see if we can get any more returns from that game, that trade. Sorry. And if it comes up to up to the stop loss, which would be at break even, then no biggie. We've taken a profit. I've taken a profit from down here, and I'm not losing any money there. So that's what I would be looking at.
Where would your stop loss be initially?
Stop loss initially would be a break back above this resistance level here, a candle break back above. So if we were to get this candle, a nice rejection here, and then the next candle, say we broke back above it, then I'll close that short position.
Okay. But so your stop loss then would be probably back at around about that yellow zone where we had the previous wick high of the green candle.
Yeah,
Obviously hoping that we move to the downside.
yeah. Let's see. So 0.7%, maybe the stop loss. A break back above this golden pocket here, this 0.66 level here. That will probably be where I'll put my stop loss in. But if we
Beautiful.
did get a candle break back into this resistance and it was like that, so we didn't come up to this 0.66, then I'd close that position there.
Yeah. Perfect.
So that's what I'll be looking for.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good.
Now, to answer that question, that where's your bottom? Now, obviously, we can't predict the bottom, but this chart here just gives us a very, very simple explanation of what can happen if certain levels are broken. So, right here, we've let's get this pen tool out here. So, right here, we've broken the $12,000 level approximately. We've come straight up to the $19,000, $20,000 level. We've established a new level of resistance, a new level of support for the future. Then we've come straight back down. No silly business, no funny business, straight back down. So we've established a level here. We've established that $19,000 level approximately, $20,000 level approximately, and we've come straight back down. Now we spent very long time below this $12,000 level, which has created a major resistance level, which is now support because we are above it. Then what happens is after we broke 12,000, okay, right here, we got that break above 12,000. We didn't stop at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We just went straight up to 19,000. Okay. No silly business. We just went straight up. Okay. There was only there was no red candles from, as you can, if I zoom in here, there was no red candles up until we touched that $19,000 level approximately. So we came straight up, no red candles, literally no red candles, and then we touched it, and then the candle after that was red. But yeah, no red candles up to that point. Then we broke. Then once we broke that level, we came up and we came into price discovery up to this here around 38,500. Came back down, established a new support level. Okay, then came into price discovery again. Came straight up to the $65,000 level. Okay, and a rejection from there is we came straight back down to the $32,000 level approximately. Found support there, went straight back up to the $65,000 level approximately. Rejection from there, straight back down to the $2,000 level approximately, and a break of that, we've gone straight back down to 19,000, which was the previous high here. So you can see once we break these major levels, we just see quick moves. Obviously, time frame wise, it's been over the course of a few weeks, a few months, but it has on the chart been a very quick move. So for me, if we break 19,000, looking at this, okay, 19,000, a break in 19,000 would bring a very quick move down to 12,000, approximately 12,000. Okay, because just looking at history, there has been no support or resistance between the 12,000 and the 19,000 level on this weekly chart. And we can see, from these big moves that we just get these big swing moves. So that's what I would be looking for if we did break 19,000. Now, I've showed you this before as well. So if you've seen it before, sorry for explaining that again. But this is just very simple to show you. If we break these major levels, then we come down to the next major level. Or if we break the major level towards the upside, then we come up to the next major level. So this is what I'm looking at. This is sort of the thing that I'm relying on right now is if we break this major support level, there's just no weekly support. There's no support on this weekly chart. Yes, maybe on the daily, on the 12-hour, on the 8-hour, on the 4-hour, on the 1 hour. Yes, maybe we'll find support there, but that's a shorter time frame. On the weekly, it does just look like we are going to come straight back down to 12,000 because there's no support, and it's happened every single time. Okay, every single time we've been rejected or broken a major level, then we've just come down or up to the next major level. So that's what I would expect to see. Mr. Panda reset low. Who is taking it? Who is selling to take it that low? Yeah,
Institutions.
Institutions. There you go. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Price manipulation, mate. I mean, you and I and AJ and everybody on here might actually think like, hey, it's super cheap, let's just buy it now. But like we do not control the market. I'm sorry to tell you, unfortunately, there is so much going on behind the scenes that you and I don't know about.
Yeah.
We are literally the smallest of fish.
My few
Like
Bitcoins are not going to move the markets. I can tell
no,
you
no.
compared to
Every
what other
day
people have, I'm not going to move the market. So
I wake up, yeah, and then I look at my wallet, and then I look at my penis, and it's all tiny. And then I see someone from Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan being like that. Should we just pump Bitcoin by a couple thousand today?
yeah,
It's very sad. It's a very
yeah,
sad story, you know. But no, honestly, there is so much manipulation, and I genuinely think, like I said to you earlier, me and AJ, we've seen the order books. They go like literally like a Christmas tree down to 10K and stop. So
yeah,
obviously, if most of your orders are at that 10K level where you're going to be buying it at 10K because it's automatically done, by the algorithm, it's instant. Of course, you're going to want to manipulate the market in some way to get it down so that you can buy at 10, 12K, whatever. So I do think there will be some manipulation, but I think there will be quite a lot. The level to which, how far down we go, I don't know. But the big money is the ones who are deciding. We're just along for the ride,
yeah, definitely.
unfortunately. I think.
I
Could be
do
wrong.
I do think this chart here shows it very well, and that's why I know I shouldn't try and predict a bottom, but for me, I think 12,000 will be the candle bottom, potentially maybe getting a wick below that to 10,000. I know there's those talks of 10,000 as well, but for me, 12,000 is the bottom if we break this $19,000 level. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There's a lot of people that are going to be wrong, but
But
can
it's
never.
okay.
Yeah. It's okay. But just looking at this, it's just very simple. TA. Once you break a major level, you are going to the next major level. And
Yeah.
this chart shows it perfectly. I've explained it perfectly here. So, that's what I see happening. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Then this chart has been wrong for the first time. So
No,
yeah,
but you're right, and even Akeshi, he's put here, you can never predict the bottom. Akeshi, you are correct. Nobody can predict the bottom. I
no,
cannot. predict the. If I say I can, I'm lying. Anybody who says that they can predict the bottom
Yeah,
is straight up lying to you. They
definitely. Yeah.
can't. Nobody can. I don't know. AJ, you don't know either, do you?
No.
But we can look at the data and say, okay, well, look, if this has happened before, and if every time this has been a result, and if we have this going on, and we have this going on, and this is why, like, these things, they're so convoluted. We have to consider China. We have to consider the European interest rates. We have to consider Jerome Powell. We have to consider, earnings season within tech companies. Like, what the heck? Why are we even talking about how Taiwan might be invaded by China, and how, the UK government is now worried about GDP crisis? All of this feeds into Bitcoin. It's so
Yeah.
many different things. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is a result. The Bitcoin price is a result of all of these things. It's not the other way around. And so, we can't predict the bottom, but all we can do is say, look, based upon historical trends, based upon a huge amount of analysis, whatever happens to these assets will have this effect on Bitcoin. And we know it will because it always has. So assuming nothing drastically changes in the next week or two, we can
Yeah.
look at these assets and say, okay, well, what's driving these? What's making the NASDAQ go down? What's making this go down? And then we can begin to piece it together. So yeah, so far we can't predict the bottom. We know we can't. I'm going to give you as good of a guess as I can, but
Yeah.
that will result in me making you very upset and telling you that 14K is probably going to come, and then we might even go down as far as 12 or 10,
Yeah.
which you won't mind. You will not like me for. And I
Yeah.
think that might be okay with me. That might be okay with me.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm only saying 12,000 vicinity. Not exactly 12,000. Obviously,
no,
it's
no,
just the 12,000 vicinity at this major support level here. But I only anticipate that if we break this major support level to be exact, is let's have a little zoom in here. To be exact, it's sat at around 18,950. So roughly 19,000. If we break this major support, then I
yeah.
think 12,000 is that next target. Not exactly, but in that vicinity, 12,000. Now, as Ben's gone through, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Just
Yeah.
looking at this here, we are getting a rejection. We are getting a rejection. Not
Ah,
confirmed yet, but we are getting that rejection from
who
that.
likes short shorts?
We like short shorts.
I like short shorts. No, I'm like
DXY.
a jock, on
DXY.
a cheerleader day.
Someone mentioned DXY. Who mentioned DXY? Esteban.
I think
Esteban
that was
mentioned
just
DXY. On the 15-minute, it looks like we could, if we break back above, get that fake out. But it depends what time frame you're looking at it on as well. So we've got 30-minute that finishes and that ends in 9 minutes. But the hour, you've got 39 minutes left on that hourly one as well. Normally, the higher the time frame, the more respectable these patterns are. And then the stronger these patterns are. So I would be looking at this as well. But yeah, if we got a break towards the upside here on the hourly as well, it'd be definitely a confirmed fake out. And we could see coming back up to this resistance up here, a break of that resistance, and we could see the price, we could see the price come up much higher, potentially up to this next resistance at 112 approximately. Let's go to the S&P quick. The
right.
S&P is pushing down. The S&P 500 is pushing down. Of course, this is a futures. The market opens in about
10
9
minutes.
minutes. 10 minutes. 9 minutes.
Yeah, nine,
So yeah,
nine.
we're seeing that come down. Let's have a look. We are getting that confirmed rejection as well. So if we get that confirmed rejection, I'm going to go short and hopefully ride it out down to here. So yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. And one thing I do want to point out is, like, I think this is probably the first time that we've actually seen, people inside our comment section talking about how people can't pay their bills. So this is like a very,
Yeah.
seemingly unrelated Bitcoin thing, but actually it's extremely relevant. People can't pay their bills in Europe. So obviously, what's this going to mean? If people can't pay their bills, you're not going to buy European stocks. Governments are going to start giving handouts. They start paying money to the people who can't pay their bills because energy's so high. So governments don't have money. So do you want to borrow money, or do you want to, sorry, lend money, give money, i.e., buy a bond or something like this? You don't want to be buying bonds from a government who's just giving out all of their money because they might not be able to pay you back. So who do you go to if you're looking for an investment? You go to the US government. You buy their bonds instead. So i.e., you lend them money. And if you lend them money, the DXY goes up, the yields, the treasury yields, they go down, but you're essentially supporting their economy. So we're looking at the DXY going up, the euro going down, China going down, Japanese yen going down. Where is the safe haven in the world? You're looking at the DXY, which is the dollar. And
Yeah.
what happens, AJ, when the DXY goes up?
Bitcoin goes down.
There we
Textbook.
go.
It's absolutely textbook. I've showed you on the charts
It's
multiple
textbook.
times as well. I
It's
won't go
yeah.
over it again, but it's textbook. It's textbook on the larger time frames and it's textbook on the shorter time frames as well.
We
So
say
yeah.
larger time frame. This guy's talking about 20 years. That's how long this guy is talking. He's not talking an hour or 4 hours. He's talking 20 years. That's like it's insane, you know?
Well, yeah. Well, are we talking about Bitcoin here? Because that hasn't been around for 20. We're
No,
talking
no,
about the
the
stock
DXY,
market.
the DXY. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
just generally, like, whenever the DXY goes up, any market
Risky
typically
assets,
comes down.
sorry, yeah. Should have said
Yeah,
risky
yeah,
assets.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But obviously, yeah, Bitcoin's only been around since 2000 and was it nine? That it got
Yeah,
released. Yeah,
yeah.
2009, around June or July, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was June or July 2009. Could be wrong, but anyway, very close.
Esteban
So
said
oh,
Esteban said
sorry,
he's in
carry on.
profit. What price did you enter in at Esteban? I'll be interested.
I think he took your short. If you're in profit, I'd probably say move your stop loss, depending on what trade it is you're on about. I don't know, and because I don't know, I would say move your stop loss to break even just to be sure. But obviously, if you've researched and everything, then you know exactly what you're doing. Follow your own plan. Don't listen to us if we haven't spoken
I've
about it.
I've just cut out there, sorry.
Okay, so he's gone. He doesn't care. Bun him off. Um, buy when others are poor. Well, yes, exactly. I mean, yeah, a cover kid, that's exactly what we want to do. You want to buy as much of the asset as you can when people can't afford it. Can you suggest some good altcoins to buy in the next bull run? We don't like doing this as such, but a couple coins that I quite like, Matic. I like Matic. I think it's a very good scaling solution. I think it's already got fantastic partners. Coca-Cola did their NFTs with Matic. Adidas, EY, and EY I think is fantastic. I actually did a video about Matic. Go back and have a quick look through. You would have seen, and basically, I'm just talking about why all of the reasons that I love Matic. I think it's absolutely unbelievable, especially as Ethereum becomes, more sustainable. Now it's done the merge. I think Matic is going to be fantastic. Rose, I quite like. And then there are also a couple of others, but just go through and have a quick look at some of the videos we've done. AJ, you quite liked Theta, was that correct?
Yeah, Theta is so for the next bull run. I've got a few altcoins that I am going to be sort of heavily getting into. Once I am happy that we're sort of at that bottom vicinity. So
Only once we are, though. Once we see Bitcoin
yeah,
begin to move, that's a
yeah.
clear thing to make.
Theta's a big one. I do think that's going to be a big one. You know, he's got people from YouTube, the co-founder of YouTube and the co-founder of
Twitch,
what's the other
Twitch,
streaming? Twitch. Yeah,
Twitch.
that's it. They're behind it. Okay, and you can get
Twitch,
paid.
Twitch, Twitch.
Yeah,
Sorry, okay.
Theta, you can get paid for lending out your computer power, your broadband. I'm not exactly sure what it was. I'm not a big computer geek, but it's something within your computer that you can share out and get paid for that. So I think that could be sort of the next stage for streamers. So I think, and that's where they would go for that as well. Theta would be the place that they go. So for me, having those people behind it and being able to make money off it, that's why I think Theta is going to be very successful in the future. So that's why I'm getting into that heavily this next bull run. And Near Protocol is probably going to be one of my biggest holdings, my biggest altcoin holdings throughout the next bull run as well. So yeah, maybe we could make a video about them as well.
I think maybe we will. Maybe we will. Because, like I said, Rose for me is in there. There's also a couple decentralized social media platforms that I quite like. But I'll get into those. Maybe we'll do a video specifically about those. Maybe I'll like top five. We'll do because one thing that's actually crazy, AJ, is often we see the top 20 change around pretty much every like bull run. So if you bring us
Yeah,
back to sorry, not 2020, but like 2017 type, 2016, 17, whatever. Um, if you look at the top 20 there, it's very, very different to what we have now.
yeah, yeah.
And even in the last bull run, we get the likes of like Solana come storming in. There are a few like legacy coins that stay there: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Um, but yeah, like to be honest, a lot of them do change. So I'm very scared about saying, hey, these are the best coins when they're currently top 20, because I think like realistically, some of those ones that are slightly lower down, maybe the likes of like Algorand, they might begin, or Elron, stuff like this, they might begin to creep in. But I think me and you will do a video about that, AJ. Providing people
Definitely,
want to
yeah.
see that. If you do want to see it, drop a comment or drop a like on the video, and obviously we'll do that for you. But you have to make sure, obviously, you drop a like. If we don't get, I don't know, let's go, what, 40, 50 likes?
Yeah, call it
If there's not more than
45.
yeah, if there's not more than 45 likes, we won't do it. But obviously, if you guys do want to see it, I know there's about 30 of you guys currently listening, so just drop a quick like on the video, and we can do one about our top picks, because obviously these are going to be the ones. We'll choose one from already in the top 20. Then we'll drop down to that kind of 40 to 60 in terms of market cap, just looking on coin market cap. And then we'll drop down into those some of the mid caps, and then also into the lower, those high potential altcoins, the 100x ones.
Yeah,
That I
yeah,
think
yeah,
would be really,
definitely.
really good.
And as Ben said as well, and for me, I'm not looking at getting into altcoins. I haven't bought any
No.
altcoins. Maybe the odd bit of Ethereum. Other than that, I haven't. Not even a lot of Ethereum. All I've actually been buying at the moment is Bitcoin. Is dollar cost. Every time Bitcoin's going down, I'm dollar cost averaging at 20,000. Bitcoin's at 20,000 right now. If I if I can find some cash anywhere in one of my portfolios, I will buy some more Bitcoin. 20,000 is a
Stealing it
great,
out of
great.
his mum's wallet, he is.
Huh?
Stealing it out of your like parents' wallet, or invite your brother over for dinner. Oh yeah, hey, can I just borrow some money?
Lock him up in the cupboard and nick all his
Well,
money.
that took a
So,
very dark turn, AJ. I was just thinking, like, just take his money out of his wallet while he's in the toilet, and you've got him chained up in the basement. Sorry, guys, that was weird. No, I'm joking. I'm
Okay.
joking. But yeah, okay. So yeah, no, no. Of course, we probably will do a video. Got a few comments on that. But obviously, make sure that you like the video so that we do so. Um, but yeah, I think realistically, there are some really good altcoin plays. Now is not the time, obviously. Like we're still,
Yeah,
whether you like it or not. Yes, we had a little relief rally, but we're in a bull market. There's no
yeah,
way to deny it. Ever since bloody, what was it, December of last year, it's been 9 months now.
yeah. Just pure
Yeah.
downwards momentum. And yeah, we've had, as you said, the old rally, but that's just us creating higher, lower highs and lower lows. So yeah, that's
Mhm.
to be expected. That's what we do see in downtrends. So yeah,
There you go. Anyway, guys, I think we're probably going to sign off now. It's been like an hour and a half. So
yeah. I think that's our longest stream ever.
it is. It is. To date, this is our longest stream. But I would also say probably one of the better ones. I'm
Yeah,
quite glad that we're doing this. We've actually been able to see, instead of usually whenever we go live, we're like, oh, well, we'll keep you up to date. We'll let you know what's happening with this. but you guys have literally been here for an hour and a half, so you've seen all of the candles. And we're on a half-hour time frame, and you've seen 3 candles form. It's actually quite good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. Thank you
anyway,
very much for watching, and it's nice to see all the people that are normally here back as well. Esteban, Cypran, and Mr. Panda.
yes, exactly. Can't leave out Carver Kid. Always throws in a nice
Oh
little
yes.
like weird joke, which I actually really appreciate, and often, the thing is, like, I see your jokes or I see your comments come up on the screen, and usually I'm not talking, and so I just sit here laughing, and then AJ asks me a question, I'm sitting there and I'm like,
Yeah. I remember that happened on one of the
you know
previous
it
ones.
happens. Yeah, I know,
He
and I know.
was out of it.
AJ's looking at me like, "What's this guy doing?" And I'm just sitting there cracking up at you guys. But anyway, thank you to Aikeshi. Thank you to everyone who kind of joined
Yeah.
in as always. So yeah, it's very good to have you guys back. Anyway, we will see you. What day is it tomorrow? Friday. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Do you want us to go live Friday? If you do,
Yeah.
drop us a comment, give us a like. Also, if you haven't done already, make sure you subscribe to the channel because that way you'll get our notifications as to when we go live. And obviously, sometimes we go live when there's something really important going on.
Yeah.
I plan to go live around the Ethereum merge, but I'm actually glad that I didn't because, like I said,
Or
it's successfully uneventful,
yeah. It's
which sounds
best way
good.
for it to be, I think.
Yes,
A big pump, we
I
would have
would
seen a
agree.
dump. A big crash, and we would have probably seen a bigger crash. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If we saw a pump, we would have seen a crash. If we saw a crash, we would have seen a crash. It's not good.
No,
No.
it would have been bad
Anyway,
either way, I think. So, yeah.
exactly. Thank you guys very much. It was a pleasure to be here, and I will
Yeah.
see you guys tomorrow back with AJ.
See you guys later.
Smash the like button.